here to do our section presentation. As you probably already know, we are the group senior project, and our game is called 666 Malevolence Lane. My name is Haley McGee, and I am the producer for this project, and I am joined today by my leads.
My name is Camilla Leslie. I am the technical director for the project.
My name is Elliot Prince. I am the gameplay lead for this project.
My name is Michael Rumpf, and I'm the art director for this project.
Okay, and we'll just get right into it. So basically the premise of our game, as you may have heard already, trapped in a living and very hungry mansion, 4 classic horror victims must compete in minigame after minigame if they want to escape. It's everyone for themselves as they outrun, hide from, and manipulate the house's previous victims turned monster. A little more specifically, the experience we're trying to deliver, we want really minigame heavy, skillful fun. So players are just playing back-to-back minigames, kind of snippy and fast. It's more so dependent on skill rather than a random number generator to see who wins and who doesn't. We also want to instill the spirit of friendly competition, specifically targeting like teens and college-age kids, because we've kind of seen firsthand that you guys can get really competitive. So none of the minigames will be cooperative at all. It's just everybody against everybody else. We also want to have a spooky atmosphere by banking on classic and fun horror tropes to create a theming that is spooky rather than scary.
So the current state of the game, we plan to have 10 minigames total. We currently have 2 that are done. They're in quotes because we feel like they are good enough to move on to other things that are more pressing, but they're still going to receive things like more playtesting feedback and changes like that depending on how we feel players are interacting with them. Beyond the 2 that are currently done, we have 3 that are being playtested, 4 that are actively being worked on in development, so the core mechanics are still being worked on. And then we have 1 that is simply planned and not been started yet. So that's pretty good compared to where we wanted to be at the end of this semester, which was just 3 mini games integrated and playable in our build, which currently I believe there are 6. So that's good. We also plan on having 4 total survivors. We currently have 1 done. Again, still subject to change based on feedback. We currently have the nerd done. 1 is in development. That is the jock, which is currently being worked on by Britt. Coming along very nicely. And we have 2 more planned, the punk and the popular girl, right?
Final girl.
Final girl, yeah. As well, we have 3 monsters planned. 2 of these are already done. We have the mummy band kid, and we have the ghost currently done, and we have 1 more in development.
The werewolf.
The
football
werewolf.
player.
Oh, yeah, the football player werewolf. So really, really good job so far with our goals. We also have 110 prop and structural assets done. In the bottom right, you can see a little example of all the things that our artists have been working very hard on getting done. So for the state of the game, as I mentioned, there are currently 6 playable mini games that you can play from some level. So this first mini game is the first one about musical chairs. I will play on the idea of musical chairs where there's a certain number of safe spaces, and after every round, the monster will slowly remove places that you can hide from him. And this keeps going until there's only 1 survivor left. After that, we have Flash Freak, other mini games that weren't there was Trouble Brewing, where you have to put a correct sequence of ingredients into a cauldron to make an invisible liquid potion to not get caught by the monster. And the other one,
Dungeon Defenders.
not Dungeon Defenders, Hide and Sneak.
Hide and Sneak.
Yes, which you can jump around and make noise to attract the monster to a location, and you try to get the other players caught through that mechanic. And at the end of the level, there's a safe space to escape from. So it's kind of like, I don't really know what that's kind of like. Anyways, that's the current state of the game. We have those 6 mini games, and we have the hub level, and the hub level facilitates going between mini games, and beyond that, we also have our game loop of you play a certain number of rounds, the game ends, declares a winner, and you go back to the main menu where you can start another game. I'll pass this to Elliot.
So, while making the game is the purpose of Senior Studio, we wanted to do a few steps beyond that as well. The first one of those steps is we wanted to put this on Steam. Well, Steam requires, we want to put this on Steam for a price point. So where does that money go? Well, we could have it just go to one person, congratulations, lucky person, you now got all the proceeds of the game. Or we can go through the process of setting up a business, making contracts, writing out legal documents, reading EULAs, licensing agreements, all that very fun business stuff. I've been in charge of most of that throughout Senior Studio. But our goals for this is to have a fully set up business. We will run this like a business. After we graduate, we'll either have contracts immediately enact or have people sign them. That will then follow the process of business. So you'll no longer be a student, you will be employed by Barely Studios, which is our company name. We want this published on itch and Steam. We want to do this for a price point, and we want to show we have what it takes to not only make a game, but go through the process of getting that game out there, making it known. We have Gage heading our marketing department. And as such, him and the department he runs has been doing an amazing job getting the word out there and getting hype for the game. We have our private Discord where we fix our issues, and then our public Discord where we bring hype to the people. And I think while this isn't normally something Senior Studio focuses on, I believe it's a very interesting and, well, useful tool to have in our repertoire from now on, because we can then go to our new companies and go, hey, we've already done this. I know how this works. Or you just want to break it off and start your own company. We'll know how to do that. But yeah, we don't want this to just be a Senior Studio project. We want it to be more. I'm going to pass it over to Michael now.
So speaking about all that, so for our academic goals, Elliot already kind of went to how this ties in, but the whole point of wanting to actually publish the game is that it requires more follow-through, because, I mean, most of you are students, you all know how difficult it is to complete projects, especially when you have other responsibilities. But by publishing our game, we basically have to we have to commit in a way that we wouldn't be able to do if it was just a regular senior project. And I can already say I'm very happy and pleased with the amount of extra hours that our team has put in. I will admit, there have been some scary times, but right now I think we're in a very good state, and I'm really excited to move forward and start adding more and more to our game, polishing it more, really getting a solid project put together. So yeah.
Yep. So that's basically our game and our group and our progress. If you're interested in keeping tabs on us, we do have a QR code up here to join our public Discord server that we mentioned, and we will now take any questions you have. If you have any.
questions even for on the dev team?
Most, what is it, like 80% of this room right now? Most of the people in this room are part of the development team.
Yeah.
So since there is such a large team, how are you guys like managing the workflow between everybody?
So, we have a couple of different places where each different section of team, like, we're basically split off by programmer and by artist, and they have people that they report to get whatever it is that they need to work on next and communicate with them about issues and backlog. And then we also do like weekly stand-ups to kind of share our progress. And also having that private Discord is really important because even more communication can happen there. So basically it all thrives off of communication and being organized.
For the programmers more specifically, like we have 2 people that specifically work on UI. Most of the other people are working on minigame specific features, and then I've mostly just been handling like the general game loop and like build automation and stuff like that.
For the artists, we have 1 person working on monsters, 1 person working on players. We have 2 to 3 people working on structural. We have 1 person working on animations, or at least making an animation list. We'll be actually doing animations and mocapping next semester. Then we have me, legal. And then just a few other artists who do general work or have priority work assigned to them to flush things out as well.
Or do graphic design and make our logo.
Or do graphic design and make our logos.
And your earrings.
Yes.
Earrings. Yes.
So to add on to that, besides the Discord and then your weekly stand-ups, are there any other tools that you're utilizing for helping with your project management?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. We've got Notion for general documentation that everybody needs access to. The programmers use Jira.
Jira, yeah.
And the artists use Flow.
Shotgrid.
I think those are, yeah.
Flow, Shotgrid, Shotgun. It has 10 different names.
Shotgun.
Shotgun.
Flow's like the new name.
Flow's the new name. I prefer Shotgrid.
How many names does that one site have?
I have no idea.
Free-
But I think those are the big 3 outside
Yeah.
of Discord.
I mean,
And Performs.
I prefer.
I was going to say, though, that still in-person meeting times is the most effective management we can have, because those systems are never going to replace meeting in person and actually being able to talk to people and show things, interact real-time, live. That's always the best.
And being in person forces actual contact and communication with people. So if you have an issue with like a program or something, you can go to the person who made it and go, hey, something's breaking down here. We need you to solve this.
So I have a follow-up question. I know you don't know there too. So as we go into development, we got winter break coming up, then we have next semester post-graduation. You noted that being in person is key thing to your development plans. With everybody moving away, what is the plan to solve that? With everybody going to like essentially be going remote? Have any thought into that? Are you looking into that any?
Most of our planning has been concerning these 2 semesters, so we haven't really thought a whole lot about what our operations are going to look like, after we graduate and stuff. But those would definitely be our first steps, figuring out, amongst who's staying in the company, where we need to go from here to be able to be a successful
Okay.
studio.
Yeah.
Something to think about, that's all.
Definitely.
I have done some thinking of it. Until we can get a space where we can actually meet, which will more than likely be Portsmouth because everything's cheaper down here and there's so much housing that is available. But until we get to that point, I'm looking into programs that is going to be like really key aspect for it. I gotta look through them more. That's
Okay.
all it is.
Is
As part of the anticipation was that the year plus of face-to-face, that camaraderie, if you will, kind of carries over into whenever things are remote. Is that kind of the expectation?
Yeah, you're like, I know some past senior projects, sometimes based on how the project goes, maybe feel some type of way about each other. I'm kind of trying to do what I can, and I'm sure others are as well, to make sure that we at least somewhat like each other and we're having a good time working on this project together and that we're proud of what we're doing.
Before before any other follow-up questions are asked.
Oh,
You
I
had-
think she's just
were you just stretching, or
I was
did you
just
have?
stretching, but I do have a question.
So it works out.
I know that this is considered a class, right? And you guys have your specific class times to meet.
Mhm.
Is that scheduled by Shawnee State, or do you guys actually have the free time or the free ability to schedule in your own classes?
So,
I think that's scheduled by this.
yes, it's
Little bit
scheduled
both.
by Greg and Travis.
Okay.
For instance, this semester, programmers were from 12 to 2, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and artists were 12 to 3, Monday, Wednesday. So, in order to get an extra day of cooperation, we made everyone who's living on campus meet up on Friday from 11 to 3 to help work through programming.
Okay, so
with
it's
the
structured
programs.
by then, but you also have some leeway to work.
Yeah.
That's really
Yeah.
smart, okay.
Yes, you have to work out of class.
We have extra days that we encourage people to come in and work.
I was just going to add to that. So usually class time, like we said before, or like I said before, management is just going around and making sure that we're all on track, and then most of the real work happens outside of class usually. But I mean, extra time is always great because then you can set your own pace. So
Just to elaborate further, they also scheduled this room from 1 to 4 on Sundays just for them. So they've added that time to the official school schedule, but they chose that time.
We can go there, we can work on our things together, we can do stuff together. We've even like done some team building parties and stuff like that for like Halloween and stuff together as like milestone things to keep morale up.
I got a question for the programmers. How much do you have to coordinate with each other versus how much is just people working kind of independently on their own mini games or?
So most of the mini games are kind of self-contained. So the people making mini games, they don't have a feature like the interact feature where they pick up a box or something. Like if we didn't already have the ability to pick up a box, someone's going to have to work with that mini game person to develop that feature that works in line with what they have. But for the most part, people have been able to work pretty well just on their own without needing to, I guess, need to engineer something specifically with another person to get it to work. Most of what we build is supposed to be usable in other places, so that's kind of the expectation that if we make something, it's meant to be used in multiple places. So make it open-ended and make it scalable like that.
That's part of why we kind of chose the sign that we did, so that you could segment things out, and everybody kind of had their own part they were responsible for. And I think it's also part of the reason why we were able to make the progress that we did, is that the less intertwined we were, the more we were able to just do what we needed to do.
So even though you have a fairly big group, it's not a problem as far as coordinating.
No, not really.
So follow up with that just so before. But even though everybody's independent, setting those goals and everything like that, how much communication goes in there to make sure that everything's like essentially cohesive?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
For that, we have the Monday stand-ups where everyone talks about what we're working on and what's next, and we'll have announcements that we make. If we need something specifically from the programmers, like we'll make an announcement, and then either like if I need something specifically, I'll go and ask somebody like, we need this thing, I need you to make this thing, or along that lines.
And if like something's coming up like SGC, we'll usually have a lead meeting like a week or two before and just nail home the points that we really want done. And then we'll refine that over the weekend and distribute it Monday usually as well.
So you said you do daily stand-ups and all that?
Well, weekly stand-ups on Monday. Yeah.
All right, Hunter.
Alright, I just wanted to add to when we design features and like want to make them isolated yet usable, like we'll discuss about where they can if they can be used in other aspects, right? For example, a lot of the like Thunder flash lighting, that was a tool I made for flash freeze, but I made it able to function without any syncing inside of flash freeze and adjustable so they can use it in other things.
Yeah, also to add on to that a bit, me and Logan are working on like basically a general purpose rhythm game type thing that can be used more generally for one of the currently in development mini games.
Couple of questions. You mentioned about the price. $5 each and stream.
Yep.
Yeah.
did the price point part
for
of
the
that
for
question.
problem description, if I explain more clearly. Doable. How can you define this is doable? Also, that's actually why we are doing this.
Okay.
So that's kind of engineering hypothesis.
Gotcha.
So motivation or what's the assumption or
One of the motivations was that, well, we felt like a lot of past senior projects and other student projects generally tend to fall within like first-person shooter or hack and slash or just like simple combat style games. So we wanted something that did a little bit of everything. We really wanted to be able to branch out and try to make a bunch of different kinds of mechanics, and that's why we went with a minigame style game. And in that way, people can still specialize, like, oh, I want to make a system that does this. Well, we'll have a minigame for that, and then you own that minigame system, and you're the champion of it. You make it as good as you want. You'll be able to be like, hey, this is what I made from it, and so on.
With the price points part of that question, though, we originally had it to where it was going to be free on Steam and itch, and then we looked at with the EULAs that we needed to have for the programs we run. We looked at and went, oh wow, we're going to have to pay a lot of money for this. So for the people who buy those programs for individual license or indie developer license, we wanted to recoup some of their costs, so it wasn't like, we wanted to do a business, you guys could foot the bill. We wanted to pay them back. So we were like $2 to $3 on Steam and itch. And then as the semester has been going, we realized, oh, it's not just like a small test game that we're making a full game. We've increased the price to $5, and we might even increase it again halfway through next semester. It's just like wow, we've actually made a lot of progress, and this is actually quite a good game. People seem to like it in playtesting. We have very few bugs or issues. Increase the price point again. So it's a gauge on how successful we believe and we are witnessing our game is. And we want to have, well, compensation for the people who have spent money to make sure that this becomes a reality for us.
There's also the upside with it being a couch co-op game that doesn't depend on your friends also owning copies of the game. Even if you want to play online, will be dependent on Steam remote play rather than actual like web connections. So if a group of friends wants to play it, the good news is only one person has to shell out the $5.
Have you done any kind of market research on what the optimal price is? Because it's too much, people look at it and say, I don't know if I want to like impulse buy this. If it's too low, there's sometimes a tendency people say, oh, this is cheap, it must not be any good. So have you looked at where you're going to set that point to kind of take advantage of the psychology?
I have. I've taken I've taken one business class this semester, and that was the main aspect of that class was market research and consumer behaviors. And I've been looking at the other similar-ish party games that are out there, and they're usually 7 to 10, sometimes $15. So we're right now with the $5 price mark just below those other party games. So when we have more and our trailers look good enough and we can show off more aspects of our game that would endear it to more audience, we'll probably increase that price point to a more normal section for them. But we are a little bit below what is average considered for, I hate saying this word, but friend slop games, which is just, it doesn't matter what the game is, it's there to drive emotions out of your friends, which is what I believe our core aspect of the game is we want it to be couch co-op. Stop killing me. Let me stop. Ah! We want it to be that type of game where you get to like mess with your friends and have those interactions with them. The game is a catalyst for your friendship. It's very often not going to be, well, I want to be the best at this game.
Any more questions?
So the price point that you have right now, the $5, is primarily to make it where that people don't have to spend their own money in order for the business to make money. So you've argued that out to be about $5 So do you anticipate if you have to do the price increase again that this would address other potential expenses, or are you hoping to actually have even if minor profit margin on it?
If or when we increase the price point again, it will be primarily towards filling off all the holes that people have dug in their own financial situations to pay for the programs for this license. And then after all those holes have been filled and we're seeing profit, then yes, it will be actual profit, and then people will start being able to get little mounds of money on their bank account. With the $5 and how much it's split right now, it's going to be like 25 cents every time a game's sold. But, you know, hey, an extra quarter is an extra quarter. Every 5 games, you get 1 use of the laundromat.
This is my game paying off right here.
Yeah. So, yeah, as the price increases, it'll fill the holes quicker, and then hopefully allow us a better profit margin later on as well. And then with subsequent games and their pricing points and being stacks on stacks on stacks. Yeah. I'm stopping myself before I get into a tangent. That's what that was. That's what that seizure was, yes.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.